Hello, Commander. Yesterday's mission was a success, and we have captured 187 new soldiers to force into our DPA army. We have also captured the commander of the enemy forces from the trenches, and we have hold them up in the interrogation room. You can actually go to room like button, the room like button, and see what you can do to get as much intel as we can from uh, this enemy commander. Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for day 86 for the 20th of May 2022. So hopefully you have did your job to interrogate and treat him nicely to get the intelligence that we want from this. Okay, anyway, let's start. There is no missile strike to report. At least I didn't have them. So let's start from as usual. We'll always go from Odessa, go anti-clockwise, and end at the Happy Front. So at Odessa, there's nothing to note of. Nothing in Mykolaiv, nothing in Kharkiv, nothing. Oh, there's something in Zaporizhzhia. So at the Zaporizhzhia line, the Russian forces have captured Novodarivka. So Novodarivka is this location here. It's very close to Velika Novosilka. However, I did not see any information about Novopil, and neither all these positions. According to the open sources that reported on this, they say the Russians took Pryutne, Stepov, and Novodarivka. But however, Stepov and Pryutne has always been under the Russian control for some time already. So I only indicate this flag here. So it's unclear how strong is the defenses here. They seem to have been holding up so well, but losing this position does seems to indicate that the momentum is still with the Russians. However, along the rest of the line here, what I gathered is mostly it's just a artillery battle. There isn't really any ground offensive. Whatever ground offensive that was tried by the Ukrainians previously has failed, and we haven't really seen another attempt by the Ukrainian side. So on the macro note, the Ukrainian Air Force seems to have really died out more or less again. It seems to be non-existent again because we haven't seen a shutdown of Ukrainian aircraft for quite a few days already. So we will continue to monitor any shutdown reported by the Russian Ministry of Defense, but it seems like the number of shutdowns has been quite immense over the past month, and it looks like they have run out of aircraft again. However, this kind of thing is we can't be sure, because the last time I thought the Air Force was gone, after 3 weeks or 1 month hiatus, they suddenly all appear all at the same time. So and similarly, the shooting down of Russian aircraft and helicopters seems to also have grind to a very low number of, or even none. I haven't seen, like today there's no shooting down of any Russian aircraft. There's an unknown shot down and they assume it's a helicopter, but the last aircraft that was reported by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense is at least 4 days ago, and they did not indicate any details. They only say one aircraft was shot down. So it looks like even the surface to air missile systems at the front are mostly taken out. And I wouldn't say they are totally eliminated, but I think most of them were taken out or maybe just the tracking radars might have been taken out, because I did read some Russian Russian Ministry of Defense report that they have taken out some tracking radars and of S-300 systems. So it's not looking good. That means in terms of because the Russians have been launching air sorties every day, so the lack of shooting down of aircraft also indicates that the air defense is failing. And when the air defense is failing, then the defenses is going to start to suffer, because I have been thinking about, why do you need an aircraft to do what artillery can do? So I've been thinking about this for a few days. Then I kind of realized that the payload that an aircraft can drop from the sky is actually a lot more heavier than what the artillery can deliver, unless you have a very big artillery, like some of those railway track type, those massive World War I, World War II type artillery. Unless it's that type, usually the common artillery that they are using, even for 155 mm, is not comparable to what an aircraft can drop. So this is what I kind of thought about, and I realized, maybe that's why Air Force is still very, very important in the war, even though they might seem really vulnerable to a surface-to-air missile. But this one is just my thought. You can share your thoughts in the comments below. This is just something that I have been thinking, because we have seen so much deterrence against aircraft, and so many aircraft have been shot down over this war, and of course the massive usage of drones and heavy missile and rocket artillery, and then the major artilleries all along the fronts. And then I've been thinking, really, then what's the point of an aircraft, right? So this is just something interesting that I want to share, because it's something that I had been thinking about. So that's an update for Zaporizhzhia Line, and this random sudden random talking about the aircraft and Air Force. And if you notice something new at Mariupol, the blue blob is gone, and it's now entirely beautifully rendered in one single color. And Mariupol has officially has been announced to have been completed. What kind of English am I talking about? So Russia have announced complete liberation of Mariupol. So this is a long time coming. And to put things into context, it's really fast, because this war is only 3 months old. I think in 2 or 3 days time it will be 3 months old, and even for 3 months to conquer a city of Mariupol's size is actually rather fast. So we cannot underestimate how fast this is, despite we keep thinking the Russians are slow, because we are so impatient. We are the most impatient generation in human history, or even in fact humankind. So we are really, really impatient, and this capture in 3 months of a major city, and one that is heavily entrenched and heavily fortified, with perfect defenses in the industrial area, it is just really fast, to be honest. So anyway, the statement from the Ministry of Defense Russia, they said that since May 16, 2,439 Ukrainian soldiers has surrendered, and not surrendered, evacuated under a Ukrainian operation. So the last group that had gave themselves over to be evacuated by the Russians without their arms on the May of 20th, a number of 531 soldiers. And the commander of the Azov battalion, I forgot his name, had also surrendered himself. He's one of those that always been making videos. So he was actually given special service. He was being evacuated out of the territory of the plant in a special vehicle. So he's a VIP. because he might be lynched by the townspeople for everything that he had done under his charge in Mariupol. So the defense minister of Russia, general of the army, Sergei Shoigu. So someone mentioned that he's not a general. I'm just reporting. They write general, I just call him general. He write him cook or chef. I would just say chef Sergei Shoigu. Okay, so reported to Russian President Vladimir Putin on the completion of the operation and the complete liberation of the plant and city of Mariupol from the Ukrainian defenders. I'm not going to use some of the words they use because I think it's not really the right term, right terminology. So this is so I have to be fair. And this concludes the entire Battle of Mariupol. I'm not sure if this is the climax that you are looking for, you're looking forward to, or is this a dampener? But it does looks nice to have this one color, so it just feels more correct. And congratulations to the Russian forces, and condolences to the Alan Sky supporters. Moving to the Donetsk Front. At the Donetsk Front, fighting continues. On the east of Donetsk, fighting is reported at Slavny. The Russians continue to try to fight towards Novomikhailivka, and there's of course fighting around Vuhledar. So the Patrick Lancaster, I think one of many of you guys' favorite frontline reporter, has actually came out with a new video called the Battle of Vuhledar. Basically is the Russian name for Vuhledar, because G and in Russian it is G, but in Ukrainian G is usually changed to H. So that's the reason why the name is different. And he actually did something rather dangerous. He actually tried to go as close as possible to the front line. And I want to show some part of this video. I'm not going to play the audio in case of copyright issues. So I just want to show you this video partly just to show you the kind of landscape that this battlefield around Vuhledar is like. You can see all these tree lines. It's always very straight tree lines with a field. These fields are supposedly meant to be planted with crops, but they haven't been planted with crops, I think, for a long time, I guess. And this is one of his guys. And I want to show you, he's actually doing something very dangerous because he's walking in the forest, and you can see if you look into the sky, it's very difficult. Let's show you this one. That where you can use. Okay, you look into the sky. How do you know there's a drone up there looking down at you? And how would the drone even know that if you are a journalist or if you are a soldier? So he's doing something that is really, really dangerous to himself, and I have to give my respect to him for that. I think his wife must be damn worried, and he's taking a big risk. So, and even in his video, he was very close to being shelled. There's some shelling close to where he was previously. You can see some of the RPG rounds that is left behind. So he was walking on certain parts of the battlefield that was previously have saw fighting, and you can see the bombardment just probably 5 kilometers away, I guess. And then he's hiding in the bushes. But of course, we have definitely seen enough videos. If you are following the war, you probably see enough of these videos where the troops thinking that they are very safe on the ground, only to be really exposed when they are being seen from the air. So this is a mortar explosion, I believe. So it looks, and you can see all the grass here is just totally closed. So this is a foxhole. This is a I would say incomplete foxhole. So I want to show you again. Where is it? I lost it. Sorry. Okay. So this is something like a foxhole. So it feels like it's built halfway. Usually there is a cover. You want to cover this part up, and then there will be only 2 holes. And usually in Singapore military we do this shape. This shape. So there's one here, and then there's a hiding place beneath. It's not going to be a straight line. It's actually a very promiscuous U. So anyway, this is a foxhole where they can stand here and then they can fire, and they'll have very good cover from mortar rounds, artillery rounds, or small arm fire. So you can see the kind of terrain is always some trees and total plains, some trees, total plains, some trees, total plains. And now at this part, he say he was in the very front, that the furthest he can go, because in front of him is supposedly minefields. So I highly recommend you guys to go and watch this episode of Patrick Lancaster. I think he's taking a big risk to show us what is it like in the front around Vuhledar. Based on the way how he points his fingers and the kind of terrain that he's walking, I believe he's around this region. Exactly where, I have no idea, because this map is dated. So think this Google map is dated. It's a old satellite image, so it's unclear where he could be. And he could be anywhere. You see, the entire terrain here is just exactly the same. So, but he pointed on his right when he's looking at the camera. So it's towards this direction. So it's towards the west. So it's probably around this region, close to Vuhledar. And he's very careful not to take any footage there where there is any form of buildings that you can actually identify the exact location where he actually is reporting from. For example, there's some buildings here. We did not see that. So he could be, in a further area from around here, but it's really we cannot really tell, because you can see, as you can see, the satellite image, you can see that there is actually farming going on. But from the image that we have saw, there's no farming work being done. So it's really not so clear where he might be. So, but it's probably around this region, and I just want to show you how this battlefield looks like, because it's very different. I have if you have been following me all the time, you probably have seen me show you some of the battlefront at Mariupol and some other place, and also all the way at the Luhansk side. So this is just a totally different battlefield. So I thought it's very interesting to show you guys. Thanks to Patrick for all his work, and for those that want to support him, I think he also wants support with your hard-earned money, so that it can become his hard-earned money. And moving on to the front, Mariupol is still under attack, but no update there. I think this attack at Pisky. So this is yesterday's report, where there's fighting reported at Vasily. There is no new updates on this. Maybe the attempt is given up. There is no update regarding Avdiivka. This supposed encirclement didn't seem to have any results yet. There's no updates at Alexandropol, and no update on New York. And yeah, there's no update in all these places. So I want to highlight something. I actually run out too fast. So there is actually this tweet or this information going viral around the Twitterverse, which they show the estimated number of Ukrainian troops in each of these locations that might be encircled. So within the Avdiivka Vasilivka region, the way how they put it makes me wonder if Vasilivka is actually under Ukrainian control. They say there is around 4,000 troops around here. Around 4,000 troops. So to put things into context, Mariupol's surrender is around 2,400, right? I think, is that the number? 2,400, you see. My vague memory is rather close. So this is there's more troops here. But Mariupol was actually defended by actually around also 4,000 plus troops to 5,000, because if you remember Illich, there's a in the Illich plant area, there is also a mass surrender, and that number combined with the one at the Azovstal area, that would make 4 to 5,000 troops as well. So this Avdiivka is a full complete defense, being implemented, given the numbers of troops that is estimated to be there. So this is a lot of troops. And okay, let me delete this. And over at Svitlodarsk, correct. Oh, it's just something curious, something interesting. I tried to learn the Russian alphabets. So actually, the second time I read it I was reading the Russian one. So just to check how the pronunciation was correct or not. So I'm getting slightly acquainted to the Russian alphabet, slightly. So after the capture of Troitsky, there is rumors that the Russians are actually pushing towards Vozdvizhenka. So, and the push here, they were saying that because of the loss of Troitsky, the Russians might be able to encircle and cut off Mironivsky, Luhansk, as well as Svitlodarsk away from the rest of the Ukrainian army. So, and if this happen, the troops around here is estimated to be around 2,000 troops. So it's much lesser, but it's still a lot of troops. If not to mention the arms that they have, the weapons, the mortar shells and everything. So it's not just a loss of troops, but also loss of equipment that is at risk. Moving on to the horse front. No, it's actually Popasna Front. And now the Popasna is looking like a very handsome horse with a mohawk head. So if your pimple grow a horse head, I think going to the doctor is not going to help you. I think you need to go to the temple or your church or your mosque and pray really hard. So anyway, at the Popasna Front, Vyskriva has been captured. So previously, I decided decided to leave this vouch or this salient there because of this position that was not yet captured. But now that it's captured, I have closed up this entire front line, and as a result, I believe all these defenses has been neutralized or has been evacuated in a very successful operation by the Ukrainians. So I'm now going to delete this guys in front of you, and doesn't it feel good removing all the pimples from the horse? So the horse is now feeling very, very awesome now. And further north, the Russians have captured Tryapivka. So this is quite inevitable because the Russians have captured Novokayamka, and according to I think it's a Twitter user that had which is a viewer and part of the DPA army, he told me that Novokayamka refers to this entire road. So this entire road is actually there's actually a lot of buildings. So this town actually stretches on in a very long way. You can see this entire town on this road is called Novokayamka. The northern road, the road on the top is actually Tryapivka. So the people living here really hate neighbors, so that's why they need to live very far away from each other. But they still need a postal code so that they can receive letters and their Amazon. So that's why they need to be in a town. So they call this Novokayamka and this Tryapivka. So Tryapivka is captured, and I have also moved this entire border. Why it looks like a horse? Because I follow the railway track. Because I don't want to overextend this front line all the way to Perovsky, or I think it might be rather misleading. I think gaining control along the railway line makes a lot of sense. So that's why we have this horse face here. So these two locations is probably taken, so we're going to remove it. Yep. And then moving on to the Mohawk, the Mohawk hair of this handsome horse. The Russian forces have captured Lipov. So this is a surprise to me because we didn't have any indication that they were heading this way. The Russian forces were fighting at Viktorivka as well as Komishubakha, and there's rumored that they are fighting at Rubivka as well. Then suddenly they captured Lipov, and then now they are already heading from Lipov towards Vasilivka and Nearkov. Nearkov. Okay, anyway, Nearkov. So there is the defenses here continues to hold. The Russians seems to not yet been able to capture these three locations. Maybe because there is a heavy entrenchment. You can see because of this kind of entrenchment, doesn't matter if the town is kind of pointless. You cannot ignore such a position. So they are trying to do that. There's another one that was formerly at this junction here. It is a lot smaller. However, these are all dated information of the entrenchment. There might be more that we are not seeing on this dated satellite image. Moving on to, okay, so I don't think I need to say again the importance, right? So I already covered this in the previous summary. If you are new here, watch the previous summary for why this is very scary for the Ukrainian forces. Moving on to Katerinivka, there's no update here. There's no update on Zolote, although there's fighting. According to the Ukrainians, not successful. Kharkiv, not successful. The Russians are failures. And there is no news on Utinivka. Moving further north into the northern theater of the Luhansk Front, fighting continues at Voronov, and fighting has now started within Severodonetsk. Okay, I need to move back here. I kept forgetting. So the estimated numbers of forces at Kharkiv Zolote area is around 3,000. I thought you might want to know. Yeah, so it's around 3,000 troops around here. So this encirclement would render this 3,000 ineffective in the rest of the war. So quite significant. At Donetsk, Severodonetsk is around 2K. At Lysychansk is much bigger. It's at 2,000. 10,000. So there's a lot more troops in Lysychansk. So this number might include the forces that is protecting along the Savinsky Donetsk River. This is my guess. Because it seems a bit, the number seems a bit huge, and it feels like this number includes all the forces that is surrounding Lysychansk as well. So there is the only information about Severodonetsk is that it's actually being attacked from the north, the east, and the south. So not sure south means where, because I haven't seen information that the styrofoam has been captured. So the Syrotiny as in the last information on the 17th is that they are fighting, but maybe I should go and track this a bit more. Maybe there is more information I might have missed. The Savinsky Donetsk River on the Luhansk front here, we can still continue to confirm that the Russians have given up trying to cross this river. There is no actions. There's no action here, and I think this rumor is likely to be inaccurate. So now we are moving into the Izyum Front, which is a very huge front here. This is Izyum Front. If you're not sure where is it, it's here. Not sure it makes any difference. So Izyum Front, the rumor of the Russian forces at Platonivka as well as Zakine is likely to be inaccurate. Because I really didn't see any information of any additional information about this thing. and by now they should have reached Sivas, should they have captured all these locations. So I'm gonna delete them. Tup, tup. Okay, so you see, you saw this in front of your eyes that I deleted it, because sometimes I worry that I just delete it without telling you guys. You guys might actually forget about this thing entirely. This is why I need to delete this during the recording, so that you know what has changed. The situation at Ozene continues to be a mystery. There is no push out. There is no, doesn't seem to be, there's a very firm confirmation that is captured. We will continue to monitor this. Liman continues to be really sour. So the lemon, the lemon is really unpalatable for the Russians, and they need to add more sugar. And then moving on to Studenok here, there is a very interesting information coming from Aggregate OSIN. So he reported that in multiple Russian sources, there is Ukrainian troops within this region, south of Oskil, and he claimed that the pro-Russian sources is very angry that why this small force of Ukrainian troops within this area is not wiped out. And he said, but however, he also seems to add in the next tweet that this report has been 13 days old, or I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly. So we will take note of this, which is why I push back the entire front line to the rest, to this to the edge of this forested area, other than not so close to Yaskivka and Krimki, because this is captured locations by the Russians. Oskil is actually it's also one of those question mark places where we don't have firm confirmation of Russian capture. However, it's unlikely that the Ukrainians will actually stay there. It's more likely that they will be in the forested area, but even in this location, they run the risk of being encircled. So not a lot of sense there. There is rumors of Russian crossing at Yeremivka towards Studenok and south, and passing south of Studenok. But this information is very new. I cannot confirm this information that the Russians are trying to cross the river over this location. There is fighting towards Vuhledar, but no information, no very clear information about this place yet. There's actually, this entire front is very quiet. Not sure what's happening. They need to drink less vodka, So, don't drink so much vodka lah. Then like that, how to fight the war? Then okay, then the Donetsk continues to be in confused state, as much of it's just like the Izyum Front. So okay, moving on to the Kharkiv Front, and the so-called the Happy Front. Happy news, the Ukrainian forces have captured Dementivka. So the last report that we had was that, so just let you acquainted if you've forgotten, the Ukrainians tried to attack Dementivka, and then they got stuck by this one entrenchment. The Russians counter-attack, fought all the way to Slatine, and then the Ukrainians counter-attack back, and they bring the fight from Slatine to Dementivka, and they now captured Dementivka. So very dramatic there. So this give us this very weird lake over here. So it looks like a giant lizard. This is the head, and then they have a tiny hand, tiny legs, and a very tiny tail. So it's looking like I'm describing cloud formations, right? Yeah, so it's so that the wall is not so dry, right? So this fighting at Borshchova, I cannot Yeah, I cannot confirm this information. Then we have this disputed status of turnover. According to Aggregate OSIN, in yesterday's tweet, he mentioned that the Russian forces attempted an assault on turnover and then it was repelled. So that is kind of a contradiction to the other reports that are saying that the Russians have captured turnover. So we will continue to monitor the Rubizny and turnover and see, is that false information that the Russians have captured these two locations, or is this information is actually the one that is inaccurate? Because only Aggregate OSIN has mentioned this. I think I didn't really see other people mentioning this information. This information might have been correct a few days ago, but at this moment, in 2 days and this very current time, it doesn't seem to be that correct. But anyway, we will just check. This is the latest information. So this is the summary of the day of 86 and for the 20th of May. For those that are not part of the DPA army and you would like to join us, defect over to our site, please press the subscribe button. We will welcome you with open arms. And on our side, there's warm food, warm blankets, and a hot coffee. If you don't subscribe, then continue to eat leaf and grass and eat $3, and I'll see you in the next update.